Welcome to the Season 5 recap of Supergirl. After discovering Kara Danvers' secret identity from her brother Lex Luthor before she killed him, Lena fights Kara in a virtual simulation and has built an AI. Meanwhile, Andrea acquires Catco, replacing James Olsen as editor-in-chief, and employs tabloid journalism to increase subscription numbers. Alex Danvers convinces Kara to tell Lena that she is Supergirl. Suddenly, the party is attacked by Midnight, a Phantom Zone prisoner that John Jones defeated years prior. Kara reconciles with and reveals her identity to Lena before using a new suit Brainy created for her to stop a black hole Midnight opened and send her back to the Phantom Zone. James quits Catco. Elsewhere, John's brother, Malefic, was to get revenge himself following Midnight's failure. With Kelly Olsen's help, John learns that his memories of the Martian Civil War were altered, but that Malefic was his brother who betrayed the Green Martians to aid the White Martians. Joan and Malefic receive immense pain whenever they attack one another due to curse, which Joan still suffers from. So he asks Kelly to soothe his pain using Q waves. John requests Neanal's help in delving deeper into his past. Finding that he used his telepathy to erase Malefic from his father's memory, Malefic attacks Kelly. Kelly is revealed to have developed a psychic link with Malefic when she returned his powers and identify him in a shape-shifted form. Meanwhile, Kara, Alex, and James track down an alien with the ability to shoot cobwebs. They find the culprit in former Special Ops Commander Caroline O'Connor. Alex uses a device to remove the Europhasians from Caroline's body. However, she is later mysteriously killed by an unknown person before she can be taken into DEO. Meanwhile, James and Kelly return to their hometown, which they find corrupted by the presence of a new prison, where people receive unjustly long prison sentences for minor crimes. They meet a teenager named Simon, who James helps in his mother's case. Elsewhere, Malefic takes control of Alex, but she is saved by Kara and Joan and seemingly sent him to the Phantom Zone. Brainy and Nia reconcile the relationship, and James leaves National City to take over his hometown newspaper. Unbeknownst to Kara and her allies, Malefic was teleported into Lena's office instead. Kara and William pursue leads involving an assassin called Rip Roar, who William believes killed his friend Russell Rogers. Rip Roar steals a laser weapon from an army base and uses it to cause a devastating flood. Though Supergirl, Joan, and Dreamer are able to prevent mass casualties and capture the assassin, it is later revealed that Rip Roar is Rogers and knows Andrea and is under the control of Leviathan instead. Andrea is assigned to eliminate the captured Rogers, but her first attempt to break into the DEO fails. After going to Lena for help, Andrea sets up a fake break-in for Supergirl to investigate while she raids the DEO. Andrea gives Lena the medallion and attempts to run away with Rogers, but a Leviathan operative kills him before another of their representatives meets with her. Margot fails to get the medallion back from Lena, forcing Leviathan to take action. Meanwhile, Joan begins to have vision of Malefic. When he asks Father's spirit for help, he suggests Joan should attempt to bond with his brother, no matter the outcome. The bond is successful and Malefic forgives Joan. Back at the DEO, Brainy discovers Leviathan's location and travels there with Alex, while Lena and Kara search for a weapon in the Fortress of Solitude to defeat the organization. Suddenly, they are attacked by Rama Khan. While fighting him, Kara manages to suppress Khan's powers, forcing him to retreat. Afterwards, Lena admits to Kara she killed Lex. Lena ignores Kara's attempts to reason with her and leaves her trapped in kryptonite gas. Alex and Brainy save Kara from the fortress trap. Meanwhile, Andrea joins Kara and Joan in fighting Khan, while Lena prepares to mind control all of Earth with Q-waves. In response, the DEO has Malefic use his own Q-waves to repel them. Kara subdues Khan before Andrea seals him in a tar pit before they attack Leviathan's hideout. After breaking up the fight, Andrea flees just as Leviathan's operative Gememni relieves Khan of his duties. When Lena and Hope are discovered, the latter takes the fall as Eve is arrested. Later, Malefic decides to return to Mars, and the Monitor reveals to Joan that he brought Malefic to Earth to test him for the impending crisis, which he passed by reconciling with his brother. Unbeknownst to anyone, the Monitor has resurrected Lex and is also preparing him for the crisis. As the crisis begins, Brainy detects an antimatter wave approaching Argo City. So Kara warns her mother Allura Zor-El, her cousin Clark Kent, and his wife Lois Lane. The Kents narrowly send their son Jonathan off-world just as the wave hits Argo. Meanwhile, on Earth 1, Harbinger brings Barry Allen, Kate, Oliver Queen, Mia Smoke, Sarah Lance, and Ray Palmer to Earth 38 and rescue the Kents. As Harbinger briefs the heroes on the Anti-Monitor, the Monitor raises a quantum tower to impede the antimatter wave while the DEO and Lena work to evacuate Earth 38. After learning Jonathan ended up on Earth 16, Lois, Sarah and Brainy leave to get him. In preparation, Oliver passes the mantle of Green Arrow to Mia, but when he learns Barry is fated to die, he argues with the Monitor over the deal they made last year. The heroes fend off an army of shadow demons until the Monitor breaches them off-world. However, Oliver stays behind, sacrificing himself to ensure the exodus succeeds. On Earth 1, Lois' team returns with Jonathan before the Monitor brings a dying Oliver to share his goodbyes. Nash Wells, for releasing the Anti-Monitor, appears announcing everything is doomed. Following the crisis and her Earth being merged with Earth 1, Kara adjusts to her new life on Earth Prime, where she discovers she is working for Lex, who is now the founder of the DEO, and Leviathan is no longer a public threat, while Joan restores their allies' pre-crisis memories. 4 alternate Brainiac 5s who had survived the crisis suddenly appear on Earth Prime. Nia discovers that one of them plans to bring back his Earth, which he trapped inside a bottle. However, she, Kara and Brainiac defeats the evil Brainiac 5, who makes peace with the team and decides to live in the bottled Earth until Kara and her team can find a way to bring it back. The female Brainiac 5 informs him that in order to defeat Leviathan, he must secretly ally himself with Lex and sacrifice his friends and relationship with Nia to do so. With Brainy's help, Lex breaks out a doppelganger of Vince Scott to attack a toy convention under the Allies of Toyment. Just then, Vin returns from the future to stop his doppelganger from changing his future. Kara, Alex, Vin, Nia, and Brainy seek out Joan, who has built a new base of operations called the Tower instead of going to the DEO. At the tower, Nia attempts to use her powers to find Vin's doppelganger, but instead sees Brainy turn into a white tiger. The team learn from a live stream that Vin's doppelganger plans to attack Andrea for ruining his father's reputation using robotic white tigers. Armed with this information, Kara, Vin, Nia, and Brainy manage to stop him, but he gets caught in an explosion and seemingly killed. After saving Vin's future, Brainy tells him about his alliance with Lex. Unbeknownst to everyone, the alternate Vin's consciousness suddenly appears in the DEO's computers. The DEO discover the alternate Toyman used the obsidian lenses to upload his consciousness into their computers moments before his death so he can weaponize the internet. Alex places the DEO on lockdown while Vin and Supergirl head to the server room. When they get there, they learn Vin's father, the original Toyman's consciousness, was also activated, as he wants to help defeat his son's evil counterpart. When Vin confronts his doppelganger's AI, he reluctantly allows his father to buy him time. He enters the codes and spoils his counterpart's plans as both Toyman's consciousnesses are deleted. Vin returns to the future to become a heroic Toyman. Alex resigns as the DEO's director. Meanwhile, Lex tracks down Gamma to discuss a collaboration with Obsidian Tech to improve the Obsidian platform. She later has Margot inform the Anointed One that Luthor Corp is in their clutches as planned. Miss P.S. Spitalik offers to help Kara by traveling back in time so she can tell Lena her identity before Lex can and ensure their friendship turns out differently. After several failed attempts, Kara decides to tell Lena after the latter moved to National City. However, Ben Lockwood blackmails Kara into globally revealing her identity by kidnapping Lena before killing Kara's friends and family. Then Miss P.S. Spitalik shows Kara a reality where she and Lena did not meet, but his powers stop working. Nia saves them from danger and brings them to meet Alex, Joan, Vin, Kelly, and Monel. Kara learns that Lena killed Lex before harnessing the fifth dimension's energy for her Hope bot and getting Reen and a reprogrammed Brainy on her side. While her allies fight them off, Supergirl confronts Lena and Messias Spitalik looks for the hat's namesake. Once he gets it, he undoes the reality. As nothing else worked, Kara decides to confront Lena as Messias Spirlik takes his leave, leaving a video about the day Lena and Lex started working together. Kara tells Lena that she can still help her, but will be forced to take action against her if she continues to help Lex. Brainy informs Lex that Leviathan's members are from the same system as Krypton and that they need to find their version of kryptonite. Joan is informed of the energy that Supergirl saw during the attack and recognizes them as a chlorophyllians. Lena tests her program on Stryker's Island inmates, taking note when they develop vengeful feelings. Alex and Joan find evidence that takes them to an abandoned farm where a chlorophylloid named Todd resides. After being rescued by Supergirl, they find Todd dead and his wife Amy out for revenge on Obsidian Corp after they fired Todd for his virtual reality addiction. As Alex and Joan rescue the workers, Supergirl successfully talks Amy down. With the danger averted, Andrea retrieves the Akrata medallion from her office. Nia's roommate Yvette is assaulted by a man named Grigory Bauer, a vicious transphobe who catfishes and assaults transgender women to try and force Dreamer into retirement. Using her civilian identity as bait, Nia nearly kills him as Dreamer until Kara talks her down, reminding Nia of her importance to people. Meanwhile, Alex and Joan take on a case to rescue a man trapped in virtual reality. Jeremiah Danvers has been found but recently died. Alex lashes out at everyone. In her despair, she uses the VR lenses to enter a fantasy where she is Supergirl. However, consumers in the virtual reality are slowly losing their grip on actual reality and believing it to be real as they develop red eyes in the real world. Alex gets tired of this but is unable to use the failsafe to exit the VR world. Kelly is able to get Alex out. After learning of this danger, Andrea talks to one of her employees, a restored Eve. Retaining his pre-crisis memories, Lex takes note of the changes that were made while he continues his hunt for Leviathan. As part of his plans, he convinces his Leviathan double agent, Eve, to manipulate Amy Sapphires and Richard Bates as well as kill Jeremiah. After seeing Lena show sympathy to Kara, Lex tricks the former into believing Supergirl is using Myriad. As Lena leaves the Fortress of Solitude, Amore follows her and releases a Sun Eater. Malefic's computers detect it, prompting Megan to return and confront it. With help from Joan and Megan, Supergirl shrinks the Sun Eater. Unbeknownst to them, Lex locates the VR victims' bodies. As Kara and Megan meet with William, they learn Lex rescued everyone and eliminated Margot. Gamemne confronts Lex, but he pursues her to focus Leviathan's wrath on Supergirl. Following a discussion with his mother, Lex uses Lena's transportation watch to enter the Fortress of Solitude. Supergirl fights against Ramakhan and Leviathan. Lex and Lena are forced to work together when Lena's project fails to work and they get stuck inside a prison riot. Lex helps Leviathan against Supergirl. Alex and Kara meet with Pete Andrews, a man Malefic impersonated, to learn more about Leviathan. Ramakhan lets himself get captured so he can destroy the DEO's headquarters. Lena realizes she is becoming like Lex while beginning to question her own path, causing the latter to explode on her before Lena leaves. She comes to Kara's apartment to apologize for her actions. William follows Eve into an alley and is black-bagged. Lena tells Kara what she knows about Lex's plan, and they agree to work together to defeat him and Leviathan. Dreamer has visions of Brainy while fighting Leviathan, which she later realizes they were about his secret plans. Brainy, without Lex's involvement, formulates a plan to stop Leviathan by shrinking them into a container. While the team distracts Leviathan, Brainy secretly infiltrates their headquarters. Upon learning that Leviathan plans to use the Unity Festival, Supergirl enters it to persuade its connected users to disconnect from virtual reality. Brainy puts his plan in motion when Joan draws Leviathan's agents away. Supergirl ends the Unity Festival while Ramakhan and two Leviathan members are contained, but a weakened Brainy is unable to stop Lex from taking the container, which he and Lillian plan to use. After working together once again, Kara and Lena start to reconcile. Thank you for watching, and if you loved the recap, then please like and subscribe to our channel and also follow us on Instagram.